Okie dokie, let's talk about how you introduce a class. Now, most of you out there who are watching my video are going to be my students who are in your first year of university, learning all about how to teach English to elementary students here in Korea. So it's a very specific audience. But other people, you could be experienced teachers, or you could be people who are interested in teaching in Korea as something that you'll do in the future or you'll do very soon. So I welcome you all. Let's talk about classroom introduction, how you start your class. This is not just on the first day when you first meet your students and then that's it, but this is like every single week as a part of your lesson plan. How do you start your class? What are the ideas that you can use? What are the things out there that are good ways of starting your class? One thing I would say is don't let the introduction really get to you. A lot of my students, especially last semester, a lot of people commented when I asked them what part of the class do you usually struggle with. My second year students always said, the beginning, we just have no idea. How do you start the class? Experienced teachers will tell you that's not the most important part of the lesson. Actually making sure that you have good worksheets, that you're able to give out your instructions to your students, they're able to listen to you. Classroom management is really what you need to be focusing on. However, still, having a good beginning is really important because you want your students to be engaged, you want your students to be focused, not distracted, and having a good hook, a good start to the class can really make a difference. Now, what are some of the ideas that I would recommend? I would recommend these, which you already know. In life, most of the things you kind of already know. There's nothing special, nothing new here, alright? So I've got songs. Now you gotta get the right song. I'm sorry, like sometimes in Korea, the English songs, like English learning songs, are terrible. So have a mix of those terrible ESL songs and actual music that musicians make, right? Pop songs are really good. Watch the videos first because sometimes you may be surprised about what happens in the video. I would not play anything by Nicki Minaj in my classroom because you don't know what the girl is gonna do. And it's happened to me before where I've played a movie to my students. It was X-Men, so I thought it's okay because they go to the cinema and watch it. And then Wolverine, there was a scene with Wolverine like where his butt was on the screen for like 1 minute. That was so uncomfortable for me, and so I tried to stop it so that my students wouldn't just have to be staring at this man's butt. And the students were just enraged. They were like, why are you stopping the movie for? We're watching it. But then they were the same students who were like, his butt, why did we see? So that was a big mistake on my behalf. So watch the video before you play it to your kids. Make sure you check it out first. Or just play the instrumental version, or play Kidz Bop. Kidz Bop, they have the kid versions of some of the most like popular songs, and those ones are super okay for kids. Nothing weird, nothing that you would have to be, you would just be embarrassed, right? So they're the safe bet. Games, all right? I should say games, not just a game. Games. Get yourself a good list of games. Now, if you're like me and you're really lazy and you don't like to read long instructions about games, get yourself a collection of games that you feel confident to teach. I have a game that helps me a lot, and I'll hopefully show it to you in the near future. It's called Ninja. That game has saved my life. Okay, let me talk about that game. Has really saved me in very difficult times in my teaching life. So get yourself some games. A list of games are easy prep or no prep at all, that you can do at any time. If maybe you had a song planned out but YouTube is acting up, there's no Wi-Fi, get your game in. A good hangman doesn't kill anybody, alright? Next thing is pantomime. Now this is basically doing a role play, but not just doing, hi, my name is Jinu, today it's your birthday. Like, those role plays suck. Seriously, a lot of my students, whenever they do their presentations and they do role plays, they mostly suck and they are terrible. And everybody has this excuse. Well, I'm not an English speaker and I'm shy and English is blah 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 blah. It's all a bunch of bull, because you guys are gonna be teachers, man, and this is the career that you've chosen. I always tell my students, I didn't choose this career for you. You chose this career, right? So I would say pantomime. Pantomime is good because it focuses more on action. It's very obvious acting. It's not for the mature, person that wants more, mental kind of drama. You want something to think about. It's more, you see it and you know what it is. It's almost like melodramatic acting, where it's like, I'm sick. Oh my gosh, I have a fever. Like, it's really, really helpful in a language classroom because the kids are all different levels. And most times they rely more on your gestures than they do on what you say. So pantomime is quite a great style to do when it comes to role plays in an English classroom, in an ESL classroom. Dance, why not? Why not get your students up to dance? This works especially well for younger kids. I think you could probably still do it with third graders, but going up, they get a bit resistant to dancing. But again, it's all up to you. For me, I've noticed that, number one, it takes time for you and the kids to bond. So don't beat yourself up if on the first day you've prepared this amazing activity and it doesn't go that well. Sometimes also it depends on the kids. There's so many variables. Let me tell you something. There's so many variables. One lesson can work great with one class, and then it can be a disaster with another. So don't beat yourself up too much. Take it easy on yourself. But dance with them. I usually use on YouTube, it's like the Just Dance series. They usually have like people dancing with moves, and it's like a game. So some of my students do get up and do that. I play that sometimes during the breaks, and you see people get up and they do that, and it's a bit of fun. It depends on the students a lot with dance, but with younger kids, they're always up for it. But the older kids, they start to feel shy and feel self-conscious, so they're not as willing to do it. But if you're a teacher like me, who is like, I don't care if you feel shy and self-conscious, let's get up and let's give it a try. And I show them that I'm being silly and it's not serious. A video, if you have a video, if you can film a video about the topic, for example, if it's about food, why not go to the grocery store and film a video about the topic? It really shows passion, and kids really react well to that. Or if you found a video on YouTube that is related to your topic, not just some unrelated video, but it really has to be related to your topic. Why not show it to them as a beginning thing, and then ask them some questions. What did you see? What did you like? What did you not like? Blah, blah, blah. Next thing is brainstorm. If you give them a topic, maybe like or dislike, foods that you like and food that you dislike, you can ask the students to write down food that they like, food that they dislike. That gives you a good idea of what they know and what they don't know. So they can brainstorm about the topic. They can do it in groups, and then they can give you feedback. Right. Some other tips when it comes to the hook, the introduction, is it shouldn't be too long. The hook should be about 5 minutes. It's literally, what you can look for as well as warm-up activities or ice-breaking activities, icebreakers, warm-ups. All of those are really good. They just get everybody ready, focused on your class. Another thing that I usually do, I don't always have the time to prepare a song or a game or do a pantomime. All of these are really special things, and in real life, nobody got time for that. But if you do, it's really good. So what I usually do is I have a routine. That's my hook. I have a routine. I ask the students, what's the date today? I ask them, what did they do on their weekend? We go through I have this kind of sound alphabet worksheet that we use, and I get them to say those sounds, and it's really helpful because when it comes to reading and pronunciation, we refer back to that. If I have a song, I introduce it. So you can also think about a routine that would be really helpful to the students as well. Now they know when they come, I ask them, do you have this paper? Do you have that paper? Have you done that? Have you done that? And then we start our class. That's one way that you can do it. And then every now and then you can have something fun like a song or a game or a pantomime or a dance. So you don't always have to start your class like that in real life. I think if you're doing a mock teaching though, it's really good to prepare something more fancy than usual. because it will be really impressive to your examiners. A little bit of advice is try to use different things. Students get bored if you always use the same thing, so try and change it up. Try and introduce. Don't always just use songs or just use games. Mix it up. It's really important, because kind of, you know, when you introduce something new, it gets them feeling like, oh, what is that? What are we going to learn today? What is she talking about? So doing some research, especially if you're a university student, during your university years, build up a library of hook activities, a library of games, a library of review activities for each section of the lesson. Build up a library so that you can be ready when you graduate. If you're a teacher who's coming up soon, moving soon, and you're going to start up, build up a library yourself of activities and things that you can use, that you can. Don't just wait until you're in the situation, but prepare beforehand. Like, get some ideas, get a folder and build up, or make one online, since everything's gonna be online anyways. So those are some ideas for hooks. I will be showing you a lesson demonstration so that you can see this in action. It's one thing talking about it, but it's another thing doing it. And once again, hook is great, but there are also other parts of the lesson that are much more crucial, and they need more of your attention than anything else. So do not get stressed out by the hook. Try your best, but then move on to the other parts of the class as well, and give yourself a break, give yourself time. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel to see other things that I do. And I will see you next week. Next week we'll move on to I think word stress next week. Yeah, stress and unstressed syllables. So that's what we'll do next week, and we'll also look at a different part. I don't know if I'm doing hook one more time. Maybe I'll do a hook demonstration. I'll demonstrate what I talked about today. Thank you very much for watching my lesson, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.